designed for students to engage with each other or people who are desiring to come to Emory to engage with one another. And so I'm going to step back out and who I see first is Calp. And Calp, I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself and then you will begin to introduce another person from Emory to allow them to introduce themselves. So we're going to pass the baton, so to speak, as if it's a relay. But again, I'm Angela Gingard, Assistant Director of Academic Programs for the Master's, PhD, and the Data Science Certificate. And I'm passing along to Cal.
Thank you, Angela. So my name is Kal Patel. I'm a second year MSPH biostat student in the department. Um, I come from Gainesville, Florida, and then I moved to Atlanta for this program. And I'll pass it on to Michael to introduce himself.
Oh, thanks, Cobb. Can everybody hear me right now?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Hey, my name is Xingyu, and I'm a second year Master of Science in Public Health student here at Emory. I'm originally from China, and I did my undergrads in Nottingham at UK. And my current research interest falls on Alzheimer's research related longitudinal analysis. And currently, I'm actively on a job hunt. It's nice to see you all. And I'll pass it to Ify, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ify. I am a first year MSPH student. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, so it's been nice kind of just to stay in my home area. Um, Also on the job internship hunt as well. So yeah, but I'll pass it to Oceanus.
Hello, I'm Oceanus. I'm currently a second year PH student in BIOS, and I'm from China. And is there anyone else, or is there a current student? I guess not.
Okay. So we have Yibo and we have Catherine. Let me see who else we have. Yuhan. Yuhan is here. So y'all have a captive audience. We did send an invitation to about 300 people, but we do also recognize it's 9 p.m. for some. Um, let's start here, and anyone that can jump in. It's the most easiest one, I think, maybe. But why did you choose Emory? Can you share your why?
Yeah, I can go first. Uh, for me, it was a few reasons. Um, One of the reasons I'm from Florida, so I wanted to be somewhere down south. So I looked at a lot of schools down south. Two was also looking at the rankings and looking at what the school had to offer. When I came to Emory and I visited and I talked to other students, it gave a very friendly and welcoming atmosphere. And obviously, being next to the CDC, it plays a big role. That Emory has a huge influence in public health and prestige in public health as well. And so I knew that there would also be like the faculty is very good based on like what I've heard, as well as the opportunity here in Atlanta and at Emory was really good, which is one of the reasons why I actually chose to come to Emory over a few other schools.
Very good. Oceanus, can you tell me your why?
Yeah. Actually, I chose Emory is also because its location at the like heart of public health, close connections to CDC, and that age has a lot of research opportunities, and also its reputation for public health. And yeah, also looking back, I did gain a lot of research experiences from here. Also, I went to the admitted student day. All the professors are supportive, and the atmosphere is just friendly.
Good. Shin Yu.
Sure. Yeah, with the progression of all these conversations, I got limited options that I can say. It's yeah, there is great reputations of this program as well as before I came here, I heard about the abundant research opportunities you can find around the department. Personally, I don't have a real, but I found some really amazing research with faculties, and I believe that students with real will benefit even more to some extent. And also, I like the community here at Rollins and the vibe of the department. Everyone is friendly and supportive. And yeah, that is basically all I can think of. I'll leave the options to Evie.
Yes, so one of the main reasons I joined Emory is also kind of similar to what everyone said. So it's close to the CDC, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and I really wanted to gain that experience, in kind of different environments. Also, it really helps. It is close to my home, so I am able to kind of enjoy the same atmosphere that I had before, but also be challenged in my schoolwork, which is what I really wanted.
Good, 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 good. You say you wanted to be challenged in your schoolwork. Can you elaborate a little bit more about that?
Yes, so I originally got my degree in biology, so transitioning to kind of a more statistical, mathematical studies was really new for me. There are high expectations, so you kind of want yourself to be better. And like Michael said, it is a really good community, so everyone does try to lift you up as well. It's kind of just learning with other first years, just trying to make your mark.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask another question of everyone. What would you describe as a day in the life for you at Rollins and at biostatistics as well?
Wow, that is a question that depends on the semester. So I'll talk about what I'm currently what is going on me because this semester we don't have so many classes, and I'll also reflect on what happened at the first years when there's abundant of compulsory classes we have to take. So currently most of my workflow is like it's pretty chill to be fair. Most of the things that I have to do is my projects and get preparations and job hunting. So I will come to the uni at around like 9 or 10 and start working. And like in the morning, I'll probably do some project works and have for lunch to and walk around the campus in the noon. And after lunch and come back to the department, take some classes or have some meetings. And if I got a chance to like apply for several positions around, and maybe there's interview times in the afternoons as well. And in the evening, I will stay around campus till dinner and head to gym and go back home. And yeah, that's currently what is going on with me. And I remember first years, most of the times we have one or two classes for the day. So during my first year, most of the things that I do is like wake up, do the same thing, come to the campus, but take the classes and do the homeworks and have some fun with friends. And yeah, basically the same routine. It's just projects. It's just homeworks instead of projects to me.
So you mentioned the gym. Do you utilize the gym on campus?
Oh yeah, it's recently used it. Normally I just used the gym in my apartment, but I recently found that there are so many equipment and the vibe there are so great. Plus it's free.
Yeah. Well, It's part of your enrollment fee. Let's say that. It is a really nice gym. I have this running joke in everyone that's considering Emory. Um, Hopefully, you'll hear me say this over and over again. It's okay to go across the bridge. So remember that statement. So Jin had to go across the bridge to discover that, hey, there's a huge, we call it the Woodpeck for short, but a huge physical education center here on campus with all the great technology. So someone else, I'm gonna pitch hit to Oceanus. Tell me about your day in the
Yeah.
life here at Rollins.
I agree with Xinyu. It really depends. So for my first year, the course load is pretty intensive for me because I also have a biology background. All the stats class are just, yeah, tough for me. And I back then I also worked as a teaching assistant at the main campus, so I have to run back and forth over the bridge during the break.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of tiring. Um, for the second year right now, the coursework are not as intensive as the first year, but I've got a lot of research stuff to do. So just the focus is shifted. So basically, I get up every morning, walk my dog, go to school, do some meetings and project work, and I go to class and I eat with my friends. And yeah, it's pretty chill during the afternoon. We go swimming, bouldering, exploring the campus, the gym. Yeah, the gym is pretty large and it's a really good gym.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. Yeah, also I'm a foodie, so I just want to try every restaurant here and boba place. Yeah, that's my day.
Well, we'll hold that one because that's going to be another question too.
Oh,
Yeah, I like
okay.
that. I like to hear that though. Iffy, tell me about your day.
Yes, so I most of my day is taken up by classes since I am still a first year. So I'll wake up in the morning, head to school. Um, this semester I have usually two classes with lunch in between. So I'll kind of eat lunch with my classmates and then head to our next class. When I was a research assistant in the EPI department, sometimes I would have meetings after classes and then kind of finish up my homework in the evening. Kind of what you were saying about going across the bridge. Yesterday, I went to the dining commons. So since we are graduate students, they do give us 3 free meal swipes every semester. So we are able to go to the dining commons whenever we want, just those 3 times. And it was really nice just walking around kind of the undergraduate campus and seeing kind of what their life was like. And the food was really good too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But remember, so for an administrator, we don't consider it to be an undergraduate campus. We consider it to be the campus for everyone. Because remember, we are us in nursing, we're the only graduate programs that's across the bridge, on the other side of the bridge. The other schools are on the other side, and pretty much, except for I would say maybe the med school and somewhat the law school, commingle with main campus more. Even like the business school commingles with campus a little bit more. And but yeah, so you were at the Commons in the student center. Yeah,
Mhm.
very nice. Yeah. Cap, you want to chime in on your chill second year too?
Yeah, there's not much more I can say, at least in terms of like this semester in the second year. Your course load is a lot less your second year, for sure, and you shift your focus more onto research in terms of like your APE and
Mm-hmm.
like your capstone project that you have to do. So a lot of my time right now really just goes into fine-tuning my like research and capstone project and just taking some of these extra classes that I need to. Like I really only go into campus like I only need to go into campus once a day on Wednesdays for one of my classes, which is very nice. But I go in for like meetings and other things like that. I would say in terms of my first year, like overall workload, um, you have your days that you stay pretty busy with classes, and then afterwards trying to figure out homework or studying for exams, because it is challenging. Like the homeworks are fairly challenging, and you'll sit with your friends and try and figure out how to do a lot of things, which is encouraged by a lot of the professors just to sit together and try and work together to figure out how to accomplish this. But exams are also just as challenging, but they're very manageable. Um, but a lot of your first year goes into that, as well as kind of I also kind of encourage taking that time in your first year, although you're busy, to like sit through some like seminars and different working groups to kind of really understand what you think you like in biostats. Because I think a lot of my first year was like figuring out what biostats was and seeing what I kind of like to do. And then eventually, by the time I figured it out, I already had AP and stuff like that. So I did something kind of tangentially interesting or in my interest, but not entirely. So I kind of wish I would have spent my first year a little bit more exploring what biostats has to offer and its different like disciplines, research disciplines. So I had a better idea of what I kind of liked moving forward.
Hmm. Got you. Okay. That's fair. That's definitely fair. So I think Iffy is the first year student in the group. What are you looking forward to for your second year, if anything?
Yes, I'm looking forward to more research experience, specifically with BIOS faculty. I'm really looking forward to working on my capstone. I'm not necessarily sure what topic that'll be yet, but kind of hearing your guys' experience with mainly working more on projects versus schoolwork is something I'm really looking forward to.
Awesome. Do I dare ask the soon to be graduates, what are they looking forward to? Don't rob me of my Oprah Winfrey moment.
Um, I don't know. I think with anything, right? Like once you in school, like you have a certain like niche of like experiences and then or field of experiences, and then once you finally find a job, you actually get to apply fully what you've learned. And I think that's kind of where I'm excited to do is to find a job where I can apply what my interests are. So like I work with infectious diseases and vaccines, and so that's what my AP was. My capstone is slightly different. It was more researched on sepsis and like hospital diseases. But I think the idea of being able to apply what we've actually learned into a practical setting and see the application roll out, as well as making money, which is always nice to finally make some money and pay off a little bit of student loans.
Continue to do that research on sepsis. I actually, unfortunately, and I know you said you're from Florida,
Yeah.
attended the memorial service of a dear friend's daughter who
Hmm.
recently passed away from sepsis. And so continue to do good research. And that's what I love about being within the School of Public Health is that it's for the greater good. It's for, the work in public health is definitely for the greater good. So thank you for what you plan to do. I appreciate that. So I'm going to pivot just for a moment because hopefully this is giving ideas for Catherine Yuhan Yibo to ask the questions they want to ask. But I'm going to start with Ocean. It's about she's a foodie. So tell me what it's like to live in Atlanta, Ocean, and tell us about this foodie life you have.
Okay. I think it's just wonderful to live here as someone who loves Asian foods. There are a lot of really good Korean restaurants around. Yeah, there are just also some Chinese restaurants. They're just amazing. My personal favorite one is called Chunkiwa. It's a Korean restaurant. They have the most delicious codfish, braised codfish pot.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Where is
also a
it?
lot of boba place. Tranquila. I think it's at Duluth. It's about
Okay.
35 minutes drive.
Hmm. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also a lot of boba places.
Absolutely. Okay, what about you, Iffy? Well, you're from Atlanta, so give us a really great perspective. I know that one particular person had asked me in another session about what is it like living from Atlanta. So, just for Catherine Yuhan Yibo, it is rare to meet a native Atlantan. I too am a transplant. But in all I've worked in three institutions here in Atlanta. The first one, we had one native Atlantan. The second one, I worked at none. And when I joined Emory in our international office, no one was from Atlanta, not a single soul. We do have a couple of professors, so it's great, Iffy, that you're a native. Tell us about the native Atlantan, what it's like to be here.
So I'm more so like West Atlanta, so it takes me about a half hour to come to school.
Mhm.
In terms of, I'd say Atlanta is actually pretty big. I like growing up, I just stay in West Atlanta. So that's like the Cobb area. You have Truist Park, which is where the baseball team plays. You have like just a lot of stuff to do in different parts. So honestly, I'm coming here, I'm more exploring like Midtown
Mhm.
and Decatur, which I actually never really done. So yeah, there's always a lot of stuff to do in Atlanta. In terms of food, I would agree it's very good. Um, Usually, yeah, I stay in my places, but I've been eating a lot more around Midtown. Just recently walked around and it was great weather. It was perfect. You can go to Piedmont Park. You can go to Atlantic Station, which sometimes they have like skating ice rinks when it's winter, and they have like malls and movie theaters and a lot of fun museums to do. Yeah.
And so for everyone in the audience, we do refer to Atlanta as Metro Atlanta, and we are in a suburb of Atlanta. I really honestly feel we're more Decatur, Georgia than Atlanta, Georgia. We were annexed into the city of Atlanta. We, meaning Emory, was annexed into the city of Atlanta. I want to say that was maybe about 7 years ago. And so you'll hear references to downtown Atlanta, midtown Atlanta. If he made a comment that she's from West Atlanta, I live in Eastern Atlanta because when people say East Atlanta, they're still thinking about downtown area. So Cal, what do you do when you get out beyond Emory in Atlanta?
Oh, yeah, no, I've taken the time in my 2 years to definitely explore a lot of places to eat. I'm huge into coffee, so a lot of times when I study, I actually go like out of campus and go to a bunch of coffee shops. So although it's a very daunting task, I have tried to go to as many coffee shops in Atlanta and try them out.
Okay.
I'm almost at like 40, 50-ish coffee shops, so.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've been around in Atlanta. And there's so many different spots. And the nice part is that they're like a lot of them aren't really big chains, which is really nice. So they're very unique in that sense.
Mhm.
And like you get to have nice coffee, but it's also like ability to experience different parts of Atlanta. Like I've been to Duluth area to have coffee there. Cafe Blue is a really good coffee spot.
I'm gonna write
Um,
that down.
yeah, and then Chattahoochee Coffee Company is also off the Chattahoochee River, which is really nice. So it's a nice place to sit and study and get work done when it's like spring or summer. Beyond that, there's a lot of different things to do. I come from a smaller town, from Gainesville in Florida, so there's definitely so many more opportunities to go out and do things, especially in Midtown. For the past like year, I've been into rock climbing a little bit more, so I've been going rock climbing recently in my free time, but that's mostly what I like to do.
Okay. Hold that thought about rock climbing. I'm gonna come back to it. Jinyu, what's your favorite part about it, living here in Atlanta?
Oh, it's my favorite part is about the parks here, to be fair. I'm more of a park person, so there are so many parks around the campus and near the place I live. There's like South Peachtree Creek Trail, which is simply amazing. Yeah, I enjoy
Mm,
running out there, especially at this time of the year where all the flowers are open.
hmm.
After taking some pills of prevention from
I'm about to
allergic to
say,
pollens. Yeah,
yo, you hear me keep clearing my voice. I'm like, yes,
yeah.
the
Someone
Zyrtec is
just
here.
give me a piece of Claritin so
Hmm.
that I don't get allergic to pollen. That is a
Hmm.
one bad thing of having too many trees in this city, but probably the only bad things.
Yeah.
And yeah, now for as for foods, normally I agree with Oceanus. There's so many great like Korean restaurants around here, especially at Duluth and Doraville, and that is where I normally go during the weekend
Hmm.
to have some Asian foods and hit the Asian market there, and yeah, buy groceries for the week.
Uh-huh.
Uh, they are
What's
like
your favorite?
improving life qualities. Yeah.
What's your favorite Asian market?
Oh, I go to GW Marketplace because there's more of a like most of the stuff there are Chinese like
Okay,
brands.
I
So
haven't
I
been
can
to that
basically
one.
oh, that is a nice place. Very huge and very interesting. You can see a lot of live fish and live crabs there. They are selling that.
Is that in Atlanta or in Duluth?
It's in Duluth.
Okay, okay, all right. Yeah. Um, I'll just chime in just a little bit and kind of circle back. So it's interesting. Everybody mentioned like the food and being a foodie. One of my favorites. So if you don't have a car initially, but still accessible, one of my favorite places to go is Buford Highway. Like Buford Highway, it connects from the city of Atlanta. Jen, you mentioned Doraville, so that's part of it. It is just a nice foodie heaven. There are so many different restaurants along that corridor. It take you a long time to exhaust them all. It is everything: Chinese, Filipino, Vietnamese, Indonesian, Peruvian, different parts of Mexico. You have like Sinaloan, and it just I can't. It's just one of my favorite places to hang out when me and my family do get an opportunity. But Thai, and there's a couple of markets that are um, along Buford Highway as well. Now we have to be careful because there is a city called Buford as far out as above Duluth. And so Buford Highway connects from the city of Atlanta all the way up to Buford, which is far out. So I don't want you to say, Angela told me to go to Buford Highway and I'm way out in Buford, but Buford Highway isn't that far from campus. So Jinyu and Calp, you mentioned basically outdoors and being outside and going to parks and rock climbing. Have you had an opportunity to visit the areas or the parks outside of the immediate area of Atlanta yet?
Wow. I'm not quite sure if I that part is considered as like outside of immediate areas
Mhm.
of Atlanta. I would say there's like a skyline near the Pound
Mhm.
City Market, and I
Mm.
take a tour there every time I visit Pounds, and I enjoy the view of the. It's more of like a place near the midtown. So you can get a closer look at the skyline, and
Mhm.
there's a large open fields out there.
Mm.
And it's a perfect place for you to have a look at the landscape in Atlanta and all the doodles out there and all the like crafts that they do near the street, near the park,
Oh,
and near the trail, yeah, maybe.
uh-huh.
And you got to taste some of the great foods at Pounds as well. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good place for date, to be fair.
it is. It is very nice. The parking is interesting, but yeah, it's Pod City Market. is just, yes, that's a happening place. Yep. What about you, Cal? Are you visiting any of the parks?
Um, yeah, so I at least like relatively to Atlanta, I can't remember if these are in Atlanta, but like going to Chattahoochee River,
Yes.
I don't know if Chastain Park is actually in Atlanta or a little bit out of Atlanta, but it's a very nice area to go explore and walk around. What's also very nice, like if you have a vehicle or if you have a few friends, you guys want to rent a car, what's really close is like Blue Ridge Mountains and like
Mhm.
Tallulah Falls and stuff like that. They're probably an hour and a half, 2 hours out. So going to the mountains is like really easy. It's a really fun trip. I've been there with a few friends to go see. There's a huge waterfall there. Going in the mountains and going whitewater rafting has been really fun. I like the water. I'm from Florida, so I've grown up like with springs and the ocean like nearby. So it's really nice to be able to like do all those different activities outdoors. And the fact that like these kind of like parks, like falls and all these things are actually very close by,
Mhm.
has been really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, we just for the audience, we sit at the base or the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. So if you just drive an hour north of the city, you're in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Um, we are landlocked, so if you love the ocean, we're about 4 hours away. But I feel like we're just geographically positioned to get you into all of our neighboring states rather quickly, and then we have the airport here in Atlanta, Jackson International Airport, Hartsfield Jackson International Airport, which really is a major hub. It can connect you to almost every place in the world. Um, just for you, Jinyu and Cap, especially Jinyu, you were talking about the skyline. And Cap, you were saying climbing a rock. So I encourage you, if you haven't been yet, to go to Stone Mountain Park, which is only like 20 minutes from Atlanta, where you can climb that rock. You can definitely walk up. There's a walking path to get to the top, and it is the most amazing view when you get to the top. You can see all of downtown Atlanta. You can look up, you can see up into the north, into the mountains. So it is a beautiful, beautiful view. So right here, just if you go turn on North Decatur, then turn on Scott Boulevard, it'll take you right there. And it's a really nice, this is a nice time of year, actually, like Jin, you said, with the Claritin or a Zyrtec to go to Stone Mountain Park because it's just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to ask each of you to share something that you have not shared yet, whether it's about in your classroom experience or a relationship with a professor, or how you have found biostatistics to be. I'm giving you a lot of options to choose from, or your life in Atlanta. And then I want to turn it over to Catherine, Yuhan, and Yibo to ask you all the questions that they may have. So I'm going to start with who I see first. I see Oceanus. Let's start with you. Anything else that you want to share? You have a variety of topics you can hit on, more than one if you like.
Yeah. I do want to share that with the experiences, the research experiences I gained from Emory, I successfully got an internship last year at a biotech in California. And this year, last week, I just launched a new job in the Bay Area. So I'm moving after graduation. Yep, that's all for me.
Congratulations.
Angela, you're muted.
I see Cal. You're next. Thank you.
Um, I know with biostats, research is a huge thing. And so what I would like to say is that the faculty here is very amazing. They're very welcoming, they're very approachable. I think there's a lot of requirements that we have to graduate in terms of the biostats department, one being an APE, which is like an applied form of your biostats. That's community based, and the second is your capstone, which is essentially a research project. And so um, a lot of times, people think about like trying to find research and doing all these things, and it's really nice that the professors are very like reachable and easy to talk to because a lot of my research came from just sending emails to professors and then setting up meetings with them. And most of the time when I set up an email to talk to them, they always have some sort of project. It was just a matter of do my research interests align with what they want to do? And so it was really nice. My first like AP was dealing with tuberculosis, the spread of tuberculosis in a few third world countries in Africa, and how we can implement a vaccine in them to help reduce the spread and see how that would look in the long-term effects for the next 30 years. And then, like I said, my capstone was about being able to do sepsis detection and detect it, running predictive models to do early detection of sepsis. And all of that was just because I sent a few emails to professors and they reached back and we set up meetings. And um, even if that's not the case, right? Even if you just want to talk to a professor what they do, like I emailed Lance Waller before, and we spent an hour and a half just talking about the work he did and the kind of ideas that he had for me in case I was interested in doing that kind of work as well. So don't be afraid to reach out. All the professors, even professors you don't know, are very willing to set up meetings and talk about everything at the same time.
Awesome. Iffy.
I would kind of go with the same sentiment, but more so don't be afraid to reach out if you need help or if you're stuck on something. Um, as well as the professor's office hours, you have TAs, so they probably have taken the class the year before and kind of getting over that hurdle of like, don't be embarrassed if you don't necessarily understand something fully, or if you feel like you're probably it's taking you longer to get a concept that it seems like everyone else understands. Just going to those office hours really helps, and you can kind of just build personal connections with other students and especially professors. So last semester I took BIOS 508 with Rob, our chair, and I kind of just sometimes go to his office hours if I needed questions or sometimes just to talk. So it was really nice still seeing him just having like a conversation in the hall to like cheer me up or kind of going to Angela with her open door, kind of bothering her a bit during the day. But it's always nice just to have like a little pick me up with people who are experienced. They know what they're talking about. They're always there to help you, and it just really helps. And I'll pass it to Shinyu.
Right, I agree with all of my fellows that like asking for help is definitely something you should not hesitate. Whenever you have problems, there's always someone that you can go for in the department or outside of the department. Basically, just ask. If they cannot help you, they will recommend you to someone that can possibly give you a hand. And well, I think we have mentioned a lot of the academia stuff, so I will go with some life stuffs here. Like here at Rollins, a lot of people are nice, and yeah, when I say I got a routine, like every morning, I will like come to the campus and greet with like some people that I'm acquainted with, like staff from the like Dancing Ghost coffee shops and people from the fulfillment service, and sometimes go up the department and greet with like whoever I see there, like in the what is that called? The place with a fridge. Like
The kitchen?
anyway, just yeah, the kitchen. Oh no way. The kitchen, yeah. Yeah, so that's like this kind of connections kind of build my day that makes me feel happy and energetic throughout the day. And yeah, everyone here at Rollins is friendly and yeah, they will cheer you up.
Awesome. That is so good to hear. I just want to acknowledge that our colleague, Catherine, has joined the conversation. We were having technical difficulties on the back end trying to get her in because she was a host. And one thing I learned about Zoom today, I think Yibo, we talked about this the other day. When the meetings start, you can't make any changes to the back end of it. But we kept working until we got it in. But Catherine has been with us since the end of October, November, and just helping me as I transition to also advising the master's students. So, Catherine, thank you for joining us. Um, Catherine, I know you've been here in Atlanta a long time. You want to add anything about life here in Atlanta?
Well, we've been in Atlanta now since 2002, so I guess that's considered a long time. I just want to say that the area that Angela was talking about, where all the different restaurants are and stores and everything, is actually called the International Village.
Yep.
And so it's a huge strip, but they've got unbelievable opportunities for food from all over the world, as well as stores. And I think that the biggest challenge for me when I go there is that not knowing Chinese, not knowing any other foreign language except Russian, there are very few signs I can read over there. So I think that that's probably is a very, very welcoming factor for somebody who is not from uh, America originally, because it very, very much feels like a very close-knit community for people who are visiting from other countries, which is very, very nice.
Mhm.
The only thing I'd say about Atlanta is that we moved here from Connecticut. I grew up in Philadelphia. We lived in Chicago for a while. I really enjoy the weather. I mean, yes, the allergies are challenging, but it's really nice that flowers still bloom in December. That to me is
Mhm.
amazing. It's always green. And because of that, it always feels not only physically warm, but just comfortable. Physically, which also helps the mental stimulation as well. My first experience at in the biostatistics department was actually back in 2004 when I wasn't ADAP from 2004 to about 2006. Then I became the director for enrollment downstairs and stayed there for another 10 or 15 years. Um, So every once in a while, when a department needs help, they call me out of retirement and I come in and help for the transitions for about 6 months, although sometimes it's lasted longer. And so that's what I am doing now. So I don't have the same position at all as Angela, but I have a, a lot of background knowledge as to all the policies that I helped write and all the programs that I helped put together 20 years ago. Anyhow, so I'm just glad to still be a part of it. It's kind of like returning home and going back full cycle.
Awesome.
It's a very special department.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to turn it out. And Catherine, Yuhan, and Yibo, I'm going to ask you to unmute your mics. You don't have to come on screen. If you want to, please do. The floor is yours to ask all the questions that you may have of Oceanus, Calp, Jinyu, and Iffy. Okay, Yibo. Oh, Yibo's at work. So he said, how would you describe atmosphere within a lab you've been engaged in? Would would there be some drama like office politics, or were people super nice to someone new? Would you describe your boss as someone who's pushy? Yeah, he said somebody's in the office right now with him. So I know I heard a couple people say that they had been a teaching assistant or a research assistant. This question is for you.
I can start. So I was a research assistant in the epi department, and even though it's not the same people I would interact with in the BIOS department, I would say everyone was really nice. The supervisor, knowing I was a first year, he um, kind of transitioned me into the project. So he was always trying to offer help. I was working with a postdoc that came in, and they just always wanted to help me. Um, yeah, definitely not any office politics. Um, I'm also usually attend our functional data lab, so that's fudge. It's with some of the other BIOS faculty. Um, Yeah, there's no office politics in that as well. Usually, sometimes, since I am still a first year, I just like to sit and learn and see kind of new ways that I can pivot myself into. So I'm still trying to learn everything, and everyone's still very understanding of that.
Awesome. Oceanus, I know you said that you two had a teaching assistantship across. Was it with QTM? Were you with QTM, Oceanus? Or
No, I was with the psychology department.
oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
but it was a nice experience coaching first year undergrad students. Yeah. Personally, I have three research experiences at Emory. Two was with School of Medicine, so basically working with physicians. They're also professors. I would say they're just super nice and supportive. And I think I'm the pushy one. Like I was asking for research projects, resources. They're really nice, like friendly, supportive. And yeah, I did my APE with the School of Medicine. And currently, I'm a research analyst part-time with them. So yeah, I would say it was nice experience. No drama, no politics, office politics. Yeah.
So, Oceanus, was this through Real, or is this something you just for your three opportunities? Were these through
Mhm.
Real, or were you able to identify these on your own and still obtain them?
I'm not a real student. So
Good.
for my first research experience, I just emailed a bunch of professors, interviewed with them, and see what I'm interested in. So yeah, my second one was with Rollins School, the BIOS department for my capstone project.
Mhm.
Also reached out through email. The third one was I saw on our 1220 there is a professor looking for a research analyst part-time. So the third one was through 1220.
Now, the reason why I ask that is because it's important for people to realize that there are opportunities through other mechanisms, and that if one does or does not get Real, it's not the end of the world. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's good to know that, yes, you've been very successful in obtaining on your own.
Yeah, I would say the professors are super supportive, friendly. You can just reach out for anything.
Awesome. Yuhan, do you have any questions, or Yibo? You have another one? I know Yibo is limited because he mentioned that he was at work. Yuhan, no questions? Oh, somebody put another question. Hold on. Oh, Yibo. Well, Catherine and I know from another session, Yibo wanted to know what the nightlife was like here in Atlanta. So anybody going out, like having a good time? Nobody? Y'all can tell us.
Um,
Let me
I'll
take
say
the record. I'll stop the record right now. Hold on. Just in case you don't want people to know you party.